So there's not been that much news on the airwaves regarding Joshua's next bout against either Kubrat Pulev or Oleksandr Usyk. Eddie Hearn has said recently. He said conversations are ongoing with all parties to plan what's next, and it will really come to a head over the next few weeks. That's what Eddie Hearn speaking to Sky Sports. He also said we're still awaiting clarification from the governing bodies to confirm who is chronologically next. But right now, everything is in place. So yeah, it's been quiet. I've been waiting to see what's actually going to happen. Is there going to be any movement as to who Anthony Joshua is going to be fighting next? I think I saw somewhere. Yeah, it said Joshua is slated to make his next ring return in April or May. It also says here, if Pulev is up next, then Usyk could face another contender, Derek Chisora, to stay busy. So that's quite interesting. And also at the bottom of this box, the scene article also says there's a possibility that if Joshua vacates the WBO title, Joseph Parker, who's ranked number 2 by the sanctioning body, will face Usyk. So there's a possibility that Joseph Parker could actually fight Usyk. I might make a separate video about that. So quite interesting here that the decision on the Joshua bout, who Joshua faces, might have some knock-on effects on some other fights that might take place in the heavyweight division, which is quite interesting because let's say Anthony Joshua takes on Kubrat Pulev, there's a likelihood we might see Usyk fight Derek Chisora as a warm-up fight, so a fight for Usyk to stay busy, which would be an interesting fight because Chisora fights, he's caused himself war, so that would be a good war with him and Usyk if he can take war to Usyk. And at the same time, if Joshua has to take on Pulev, if the WBO and IBF can't come to a conclusive decision about somehow allowing Joshua to keep one of the belts, then we might have a scenario where Anthony Joshua has to vacate the WBO title. And then obviously Joseph Parker's ranked second, according to this article, in the WBO. Then you might have a scenario where Joseph Parker takes on Oleksandr Usyk for the vacant WBO, which would be a weird case of deja vu because Joseph Parker had to take on Andy Ruiz for the vacant WBO. So it's quite interesting. So a few things are moving here and there, some cogs in the woodworks. Who's Anthony Joshua gonna take on? Is he gonna take on Pulev or is he gonna take on Usyk? Because I'd rather Anthony Joshua take on Usyk, just because of the pedigree of Usyk in terms of being a unified champ and undisputed champ from the cruiserweight. So it'll be interesting to see him take on the unified heavyweight champ from the heavyweight. And I think it'll be a big fight in the UK, especially UK boxing fans that are a bit more familiar with Usyk, because Kubrat Pulev hasn't really left Bulgaria. So British boxing fans are a bit more familiar with Usyk, especially Usyk that knocked out Tony Bellew, and he's been on Sky Sports having interviews and stuff like that. So people are much more familiar with Oleksandr Usyk. So yeah, we have to wait and see what happens here. It's taken a while for things to kind of unwind because I remember it was like it's been a few weeks. It's been a bit of time. I don't know whether it's just me, but it feels like it's taking time for them to say like what's going on. Because I'm hoping that Joshua doesn't have to vacate the WBO, because that just puts the undisputed fight way back. Because if he vacates the WBO in favor of fighting for the IBF for Kubrat Pulev as a perceived easier fight, then there's no guarantee that if Usyk picks up the WBO, Joshua has to fight Usyk. There's no guarantee that Joshua beats Usyk. There's no guarantee of that, because Usyk is a very talented fighter, accomplished fighter, won in the Olympics. Guy's not no walkover. This is Usyk we're talking about here. So yeah, Hearn waits for clarification on Joshua's next mandatory. Eddie Hearn just has to wait and see what the sanctioning bodies come up together and decide, or hopefully they allow Joshua to fight for one belt and then he can fight for the maybe the WBO IBF next after defending one of the belts against his relevant mandatory. And yeah, I don't want to see Joshua vacating any of the belts, because that just splinters off the belts and it just puts the undisputed fight way back. It stretches it way back, and I don't, that's just not what I want to see. I want to see the belts get unified as soon as possible. All this siphoning off of the belts, I just feel like it just puts the undisputed fight in jeopardy. That it just puts it up in the undisputed fight in jeopardy. Because imagine a scenario that Anthony Joshua takes on Pulev, and somehow Pulev wins, and then as mandatory, he doesn't have to rematch Joshua. So let's say Pulev walks off with the IBF, Joshua's already vacated for the, if he's already vacated for the WBO in order to fight Pulev for the IBF, and then all of a sudden you've got Joshua with no belts, Pulev's got one belt, Usyk might win one belt. You've got three people with separate belts in Pulev, Usyk, and Deontay Wilder if he beats Tyson Fury, and that's just, it just becomes a mess. And then Top Rank trying to negotiate with Al Heyman and the PBC, and then you have Usyk on one side with Matchroom Boxing, and it becomes a total mess. So I rather see the belts stay in one place. Hopefully, as Eddie Hearn said, here he's still waiting clarification from the governing bodies to who chronologically next. Hopefully Joshua doesn't have to vacate any titles. If he has to vacate a title, I suspect he'll vacate the WBO. And looking at the possibility of Usyk fighting Joseph Parker for the WBO, that would be a very interesting fight, because they're both very quick fighters, good hand speed, good foot speed. It'll be a very good, interesting clash of styles, and that'll be a fascinating fight to watch. So yeah, Hearn waits for clarification on Joshua's next mandatory. Let's wait and see what happens. Do you think Joshua's gonna vacate any one of the belts? Do you think there's any of the sanctioning bodies are gonna basically enforce their mandatory, forcing Joshua to vacate one of the belts? Do you want to see Joshua vacate the belts? Do you agree with Frank Warren? Because he said I don't know what he was talking about. Talking about Joshua just waiting for the title. Are you one of the fans who agree with Joshua just vacating everything just to fight Fury or Deontay Wilder? Do you think also that Usyk? Do you want to see an Usyk Parker fight? Because that's an interesting fight. Usyk Parker fight. And who do you want to see in basic conclusion? Who do you want to see Joshua fight? Usyk or Pulev next for either the IBF mandatory and WBO mandatory? Drop your comments in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, share. Peace out, guys. Cool.